Alright guys, today we're going to be talking about percent application. So we are going to be talking about shopping and prices and going out to dinner. So those are some of the situations in the real world that we use percent application. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and set up our proportion. So to set up our proportion, on the left, the top left, we're always going to put what's called the part over the whole. And another word to say it, I'm not meaning to multiply, I'm just saying another way to say it is over of. Okay. So maybe we're looking for a discount and we're saying you can save $30 off of a $50 sweater. What was the percentage off? Okay. So up in the top right, you're always going to put a percent, your percent. So either the problem gives you a percent or you're looking for a percent, and then percent over 100. So this is your percent application proportion, and you're going to be using this for every single percent application problem. Okay, so there's some situations where you find the percent and you add it to the amount. So let's say you are going out to dinner and you tip your waiter, right? So that is an additional cost that you have to pay. So you're going to add that percentage to the price of your meal. And then also there may be situations when you subtract the percent that you find. So maybe you go shopping and like I said, your sweater is on sale for 20% off. So then you would subtract the amount of money you saved from the price. So over here on the right, we're going to go ahead and make a T-chart. And I want you to put add. So some situations when you would add that amount that you calculate, the percentage amount in dollars, you would add tax. So we all have to pay taxes. Oops, sorry. So when you go out to eat, you have to pay for tax, or when you buy an outfit, you have to pay tax. Another situation would be tip. Okay, so if you go out to eat dinner, you need to tip your waiter. If you get your hair cut, you're supposed to tip them. If you get your nails done, you're supposed to tip them. And then another situation would be when you get a commission. So sometimes people who work in sales get a percentage of what they sell. So maybe I sell, I don't know, $100 worth of jewelry and I get 10% of that. So I would get $10. So that's extra money that I'm making. Okay. So those are situations where you would add them. There's some situations as well where you would subtract. So some situation for subtraction would be like a discount or a sale. Okay. And those can be situations when you save a certain amount of money or you save a percentage. Okay. All right. So now that we have all this background knowledge, let's go ahead and give one a try. So this first problem we have, it says a sweater is priced at $55. It is on sale for 65% off of the original price. How much is the sweater now? Okay, so $55 is the sweater now. It's on sale for 65% off of the original price. So 65% off. So off means it's a discount, right? How much is the sweater now? Okay, so what we need to do is we always are going to have to set up a proportion. So I'm going to just go ahead and do it. I know that 100 always goes here and percent goes on top. Well, it gives me a percent, so I don't even have to think about that. I just know that 65% goes up top. Okay, so then the hardest part is figuring out the left side of the proportion, and it's not really hard. Okay, so if I'm saving 65%, am I saving a part of your $55, or am I saving more than your $55? Well, you go shopping and the store's not going to pay you to get a sweater, right? So your total cost is going to be $55. That's your original price, but you're going to save a piece of that. So we don't know the part. So we're saying, what is 65% of 55? So of meaning it goes on the bottom. Now, once we have a proportion set up, then we are going to do our cross product. So I always like to do the diagonal with my variable. So 100 times x. So 100x equals, and then my second diagonal. So 55 times 65. So 65 times 55. 5 times 5 is 25. Okay, and then 6 times 5 is 30, plus 2 is 32. Put a 0. 5 times 5 is 25. 6 times 5 is 30, plus 2 is 32. Gotta add them up. So 0, 5, 6, 7, 3, 4, 5, and 3. Okay, so 3,570. Okay, now here we are at dividing, so we want to get x by itself. So right now it's saying 100 times x equals 3,570. So to undo that, we're going to do the opposite operation. So we're always going to divide by the number next to x. I'm going to divide by 100. Okay, so let me show you a trick real quick, all right? So if you are dividing by 100, so if you divide by 100, you're going to move your decimal to the left 2 places. So you're going to go 2 places to the left. So this is your new spot, okay? If you multiply by 100, you're going to go 2 places to the right, okay? Because it's getting bigger. If I'm dividing by 100, I get smaller, so I go to the left. If I'm multiplying by 100, I get bigger, I go to the right. So notice I'm not saying that you just take off zeros or that you add zeros. I'm saying you move your decimal 2 places to the left. So if I do that, then my x value is going to equal to 3,570, okay? So then I need to think, is that my answer? Well, it says, how much is the sweater now? So if it's 65% off, that's the amount of money I'm saving. I'm taking that off of the original amount. So discount tells us we're going to subtract. So I'm going to do the original amount is $55, and I'm going to subtract my 3,570. Okay, so I have to borrow. 5 becomes 4. That's 10. Minus 7 is 3. Borrow again. 4, 14. Minus 5 is 9. 4 minus 3 is 1. Okay, so my new price is $19.30. $19.30 is the new sweater price. And is that realistic? So 65%, so that's more than half, right? So half of 55 is a little more than 25. So that looks good. So we'll move on to number 2. So problem 2 says a pair of pants is on sale for 25% off of the original price. If the original price is $54, how much is the discount? Okay. So again, each time we see a percent problem, we're going to set up our proportion. So 25%, percent always goes on top over 100. Sorry, I don't know, that keeps doing that. So 25% off The original price is $54. All right, how much is the discount? So we're taking money off of that. So the $54 is our whole. That's our original price. So that's going to go on the bottom. And we're looking for how much the discount is, okay? So now that we have our proportions set, we're going to go ahead and do our cross product. So I always do my variable first. So I have 100x equals 54 times 25. So 54 times 25. 5 times 4 is 20, 25, 27, 0, 8, 10, add it up, 0, 14, 15, 2, 3, and 1. So 1,350. But I need to get x by itself, so I'm going to undo the 100. I divide by whatever's next to x. When I divide by 100, like I said, I can just move my decimal 2 places. So I have x equals 1350. So am I going to add or subtract it? I know they're taking 25% off, so that would mean I'm subtracting, but it says how much is the discount. So it's asking for how much they saved. So it's $13.50 off, okay, is the discount. So you got to pay attention to what the problem's asking you for. All right, so number 3. In a state with a sales tax of 7%, Hernando buys a radio for $59.99 and a CD for $13.99. How much is the tax? All right, so I know I'm going to have to set up a proportion because I'm talking about a percent. But guys, these numbers look hard to me, and it's multiple choice, so we could get close enough. So why don't we, this is $59.99. That is close enough to $60 in my book. $13.99, close enough to $14. And look at these answer choices. They aren't just pennies off. So I would be close enough if I round them. So he's buying a radio for $60 and a CD for $14. How much is the tax? So first I need to figure out how much money he's spending, how much he's buying. So he's buying the radio and the CD. So he's spending $74. And I need to figure out how much tax is. So that's going to be a piece of my amount I spend, right? So my amount, my total amount is going to go on the bottom. That's my whole. My percent goes on top, always over 100. So that leaves my x here. So go ahead and do your cross product. So I got that 100x is equal to 518. So I'm going to get x by itself by dividing by 100. So I'm dividing, so I'm going to move my decimal 2 places to the left. I can't always do that when I'm dividing, only if I'm dividing by 100. So $5.18. How much is the tax? So yes, that is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the amount of tax. So it's $5.18 tax. Okay. So last problem here, it says if Jerry buys a video game for $35.99 with a sales tax of 8%, what is the total price of the video game? Okay, so again, I see $35.99 and this is multiple choice. So if it's that close, my numbers are pretty off with the answer choices. I'm going to round it up to 36. So I am going to set up a proportion. I know percent goes on top over 100, and I'm looking for tax is always a part over 36. So do your cross product. Okay, so I got that tax was $288, but it says what is the total price of the video game? So when I buy a video game, I have to also pay tax, okay? So I have to pay that in addition to the price of the video game. So up top on our T-chart, we said tax is something that you add. So I need to add my tax to my amount. So I added it to my original amount and I got A.